What is up? This is alertwolf here. Gonna bring you another DC Nation review, and this time it is a Young Justice Season 2. Excuse me, Episode 17, and this one's called The Hunt. And as you see, rocking the screenshot back there of some of the kids and Arsenal, and I'll explain all this at the end. But alright, so basically this is what goes down. The Light and the Reach are starting to part ways, and so the Light is enacting their plan to counter the Reach. And basically we see things like the Reach's propaganda machine going, the Blue Beetle, you have the team of Runaways, who I'll get to the end who I think these guys are going to become, but we'll see. And they're trashing Reach stuff, like petty vandalism, basically. And Luther sends them on a mission to rescue Superboy and the rest of the team that get captured. Meanwhile, Arsenal is running around the war planet, evading capture, I might add, and trying to get a signal out. And then at the same time, you have Nightwing and Miss Martian looking around, trying to see if they could get a hit on the lost team members, and they're even searching the hangar where they were. Now Luther gives the team of Runaways the mission to go find and save Superboy and the others, and what he gives them is a father box, as opposed to mother box. Father box is dark side technology, apocalyptic technology. It's the opposite of mother box, So, basically, so they get they have boom tube technology, and they boom tube into the war planet. They're immediately, in trouble, but they fight their way through. Again, Arsenal starts hearing some battles. He recharges his arm because he was out of juice with the technology there. So he heads and he starts following the kids and to give them backup when they need it. Meanwhile, Miss Martian and Nightwing find Sphere, who transforms into Superboy. They love all her names or whatever, and they go after, to lead them to the team. Now, basically, the ambassador to the Reach orders them to take care of the situation with extreme prejudice, because, being attacked by their former test subjects, so he wants this situation dealt with. Meanwhile, he goes on the G. Gordon show, the Glenn Beck ripoff that they like to portray him as, but and not as good, but the evil Glenn Beck. That's pretty much their interpretation of him. Godfrey. I think it's funny. Basically, and he's part of the Light and all that. So he's like, yeah, everything's good. You guys are great. But how many more lies are you supposed to swallow? And then he plays the replay of them saying he only has one ship, and then there were thousands. So so the Light is trying to just mess up the Reach. But that's what's going on. And the next thing you know, they find the area where the other Young Justice members are being held, and the team ends up battling Black Beetle. A cool fight here, but they're easily outclassed. I mean, he's Black Beetle, so they need help. And what happens is they get the Arsenal ends up helping them out, and he's like, we got to attack them unbalanced. You know, we have to keep them unbalanced. You know, so that's what they do. They hit him with a lot of blitz attacks, and that he doesn't see coming, so he can't manage a proper counterattack. Although it's not enough to take him out, because again, he's freaking the Black Beetle and dumb powerful. Then they go to start to release some people, and Arsenal releases Mongol, which is awesome. And they're like, what are you doing, man? He goes, no, trust me. And so Mongol gets out, and he sees the Black Beetle, and the Black Beetle like, this is your fault. What the reach? And then they have an epic throwdown. And that's a good fight right there. That's a good fight. Those two are beastly powerful beings, so they go at it. Meanwhile, they release the other members of the team, and Arsenal goes for the key. But moments before this, Deathstroke had boom tubed in and stolen the key already. So the key was gone, but the kid's items, you know, the shield, the utility belts, all that were recovered, and they make their way out. Now, as they're, you know, and then they catch up with Miss Martian and Nightwing, and they all go for the ship. Now, as they're entering the ship, and why they bring this up now is beside the point. Nightwing goes to the team of Runaways, basically. He's like, you know what, you guys have done a good job, and you know, you saved the day with no training, and you know, there's a spot on the team for you if you guys want it after we do the briefing. And what's his face is a little angry about it. He's like, wait, Apache Chief. He's like, hey, you mean now that we saved your butts, we don't have to be, you're fine with us not being test subjects, huh? And you know, so he was a little pissed at that, and Static trying to calm him down, because Static wants to be part of the team, you know. And the next thing that happens is, before they leave, Arsenal's like, we got to talk about Blue Beetle, who betrayed the team. And then basically B, she's pissed at Arsenal for blowing the airlock and doing this stuff, so she yells at him for him, and he's like, listen, yeah, well, all this led to you guys being, I was going to be locked up again for another 8 years, and me being free led to you guys getting free, so you should thank me. And Nightwing's like, we will thank you, but you're off the team when you get back. And he's like, what? He's like, yeah. And then the Runaways defend him. They're like, listen, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be able to save him. We would have all, you know, bought it. And he's like, Nightwing's like, no, he pulls his crap before. He needs to battle through his personal demons, and he's not ready to be a team player. And, but then Nightwing's like, dude, we need to discuss this when we're off enemy territory. And this is when, what's-his-face? This is when the rest of the team is like, the Runaways are like, nah, we've heard enough. And Static's like, yeah, we're not going to join your team. We do things our own way. And we don't need your ride home either. We got here ourselves. And then he turns to Arsenal. He's like, but if you want to join us, you're more than welcome to hitch a ride home with us. He's like, yeah, I think I will. And of course, you know, now you have every race. Or part of that youthful coalition of every ethnicity. You know. But I'm fine with that. And then they open up a boom tube. Nightwing sees its father box, and they bounce. He's like, wait! They bounce back to the apartment where Lex is like, oh, that went well. And then he's like, he sees, as soon as he sees Arsenal, he knows. So he's like, well, you brought back company. Hey, Arsenal, how you doing? He's like, Luther. You know, and this is that scene right there. You can see the computer in the background, and, you know, they're talking about it. And he's like, Luther's the guy who put me originally in the freezer for 8 years. He's the reason why I don't have an arm. he used you to distract Black Beetle and have one of his other pawns steal the key. And Luthor's like, well, I wouldn't call Deathstroke a pawn. He's more of a bishop. But, what's the problem here? I promised you to save the kids, and get some revenge on the Reach, and that's what you got. And so they immediately destroy the computer, and that's that. And then, it ends with them going off and being their own team. Now, a new team. Now, I'm going to say this. I could be wrong. They seem like they may be a little outsidery, you know what I mean? Maybe they're outsiders to the other teams. Maybe they become the outsiders. That would be awesome. Because obviously they're never going to do a T-Titans on this, because they're basically the Teen Titans, Young Justice. So that's never going to happen. But this team, led by Arsenal, might just be the outsiders. That's what it reminds me of. I could be wrong. And I remember Outsiders was one of those teams where there was a big gambit in ages, where sometimes it would be a team of older characters, and sometimes it would be a team of younger characters, and sometimes it would be a mix. And Arsenal, his character does have a history with that team. But sorry about that. But yeah. So what do I say about this episode? Well, I really liked it. I'm gonna give this episode a 4. The fights were awesome. The formation of a new team of Runaways plus Arsenal. I'm thinking they're the outsiders, but again, I could be wrong on that. And I think it's gonna be it's awesome. The Reach and Light are gonna start going to war against each other. That's gonna be cool. They still have to try and save the Blue Beetle. So all of these things, man, I just cannot wait. So, click it up if you like it. Comment if you must, and please, please, please subscribe if you can. And this is your boy Alert Wolf signing out.